Hello, this is Daisy Joy at Adventure Acres Homestead in northwest rural Iowa. Well, like many of the rest of the country, we have run into a bit of a dilemma. A lot of the stores here in our area no longer have any toilet paper. I'm sure that a lot of you are similarly experiencing this phenomenon. For those of you who are new to our channel, toilet paper is not a usual subject of conversation. However, I see an opportunity to be helpful, and so I'm going to jump right in there and give you some of my expert advice on this particular subject. I know that some of you we've just met, and so talking about potty paper is kind of an interesting subject to bond over, but here you go. So my qualifications for this particular subject matter are that I used to be an ombudsman for my husband's command when he was in the United States Navy and we lived in Yokosuka, Japan. Part of our responsibilities as ombudsman is to help prepare for situations just like this. I was responsible for making disaster plans and kind of preparing people for the possibility of a pandemic. One of the things that we were responsible to do is to be really creative and thinking of problem solving when it came to shortages and lack of availability of the usual things that make life go. No pun intended, because it's a toilet paper video, okay? Sorry. One of the things that I was tasked with when it came to emergency preparedness was what happens if there's no toilet paper. So I've actually thought this out. I have plans in action. I have supplies. I am ready for this. So when my husband calls me and says there's no toilet paper anywhere, I can't find it, people are snagging all the rolls of toilet paper and putting them into their cart and buying them before anybody else can get to them. There's a lot of panic happening, and listen, people, do not buy into the panic. It's okay, because I will tell you this, for thousands of years, people did not have toilet paper. So as far as toilet paper goes, you are covered. You will survive. It'll be okay. I know life will be a little uncomfortable for a while if you don't have massive stockpiles of toilet paper, but I am here to offer you a few solutions. Okay, so let's cut to the chase. Here are some potential alternatives to toilet paper. I've had to troubleshoot this in actual disaster preparedness scenario training for the military. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just shooting from the hip. Okay, so for starters, rationing toilet paper. If you do have toilet paper supplies, it's probably not a bad idea to ration your toilet paper usage, which means either you use less than normal, or sometimes if you have double ply or triple ply toilet paper, you might consider splitting the toilet paper. You know, this here is double ply, so for instance, you might find here on the edges that you can split this toilet paper very carefully, and you end up with more toilet paper. There, now you've just doubled your toilet paper. Okay, so another technique in rationing toilet paper is that folding is better. You can get more uses out of this. A lot of people wad. That uses up more toilet paper. Folding is important. You can use this side, you can fold, and you could use this side, and you can use this side. Folding. It's not something that many people have really thought about until they are down to the last few squares. It's important to know how to use the resources that you have before you run out of them, so that's helpful too. Another thing that you can do to stretch out your toilet paper supplies is that if you have a water bottle, not one that's been used on cleaners or anything that's going to make your areas sensitive, you simply spritz the area. It's much like using a bidet, which if you have a bidet, you're probably a lot more equipped than a lot of people right now. But so you can use a spritz bottle. It helps to ration out your supplies. Also, if you don't have a spray bottle, you can just use a regular water bottle. The ones with the nozzles that squirt are better. For those of us who have had babies, we are already familiar with this particular process. But you simply squirt the area, use it much like a bidet. Another option that people kind of overlook is ye old baby wipes. There are still lots of boxes of baby wipes in the stores that don't have toilet paper. Please do be responsible and don't buy all of the baby wipes, because there are people who have babies and they need these wipes for their babies. Please don't be greedy. Okay, so here's another option available: paper towels. Obviously, paper towels are somewhat abrasive. They're kind of meant to be sturdy. You can get around this by moistening the paper towels first, which will help to get the area cleaner. Kleenex and napkins and things like that will also work. I will caution you not to flush paper towels, Kleenex, napkins, because they may not be septic safe, and also they may cause clogs, which are going to send you in a whole nother realm of trouble. Honestly, I never thought I would make a video like this, but I am here to help. In the scenario that there are no more supplies, because frankly, people are being crazy and buying out all the stuff, I'm going to ask you to start thinking outside of the box. This is a new concept for a lot of people, because we've kind of gotten spoiled in having just what we need at our fingertips. And so part of getting through a situation like this is stretching ourselves. Now, in a scenario where everybody's bought all of these supplies out, hopefully it hasn't gotten to that extreme before reason starts setting in and people start rationing themselves. However, in that event, it is helpful to use fabric alternatives. Anybody who has been in a public bathroom scenario where they're out of toilet paper can tell you about the benefits of the sock. Now, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but you can use materials that are around, rags and scraps and such, to wipe and discard, and it's a handy resource if you have run out of all the other disposable alternatives. There are some tutorials out there, if you look, that explain how to make like bathroom rags. Now, I know, I'm sorry, this is like really, I know that this is a lot of information, so please do understand. But again, trying to be helpful. There are some people who have bathroom rags, shall we call them, where they have rags and they use kind of their old fabric that can be used for such a purpose. Now, part of the benefit of this is that if you are using them for number one and you want to just wash them, you can reuse them. If you use them for dirtier purposes, shall we be delicate, you may also reuse them. Think of it like a cloth diaper sort of scenario, where you can wipe, and some people have a bleach tub that they use. That's not my favorite method. There are lots of options available. And of course, don't forget the old cowboy method. If you happen to be in an area where there's actual leaves, which is not the case here in Iowa right now because it's still pretty much winter, well, there are a lot of leaves that are terrific options. You know, have a basket of leaves in your bathroom. Again, be sure to discard them. They do not flush. Another note when it comes to leaves, make sure that they are not poisonous. If you need help with that, I'll put a link in the description of leaves to avoid if you should happen to use that particular method. I hope to have a more complete list of these items to post here on my channel and also on my Facebook page, which is Adventure Acres. And so I want to get this video out there so that hopefully it can be helpful to some of you. I hope you don't have to use it. I hope that good sense prevails. And I will be probably talking a little bit more about this whole coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. This is one of the things that I was trained for when I was ombudsman for my husband's command. And so as far as pandemic response, I've had a lot of experience with this. And so I'm hoping to share some things that I've learned in the days to come. I know that there are a lot of people who are really scared and anxious about how things are going, but one of the best tips that I can give you about pandemic response and dealing with various epidemics is to not stress out. I know that there are a lot of stressful situations that are coming about, and so I would like to urge people to remain calm. Stressing out is only going to make it worse, okay? I plan to do another video soon. I wanted to get this one out here sooner because I know there are people who are contacting me right now saying, what do? I don't have any toilet paper, because they know that I have had experience in dealing with preparedness for such an incident. What a weird thing to have on my resume, right? There will be resources available. It's okay. We're all gonna get through this, hopefully. Hang in there. In the meantime, hopefully this will give you some ideas and help you if you are also in a state of shortage. I don't want to post these videos to incite any sort of panic. I'm just dealing with the response that is already occurring and the shortage of toilet paper that is out there in the world right now. And honestly, I did not ever think I was doing a video on toilet paper, but here it is. I help where I can. See a need, fill a need. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that you're all well and that you're doing okay. Please be safe and sane. Hang in there. We'll get through this together. This is Daisy. May your adventures be fun and your efforts be blessed. Signing off for now. My grandpa is 91 years old, and he has told us many stories about the time before toilet paper. So I know that it is okay if there's no toilet paper, because people for thousands of years have survived without toilet paper. When my grandpa was growing up, they used things like ye old corn cob. Now, I live in Iowa, and there might be an abundance of corn cobs in our fields here, but there are better alternatives, so corn cob is not my thing. Another thing that my grandpa used was things like the Sears Roebuck catalog pages and the phone book pages from last year's phone book. That's kind of last case scenario.
Yeah, that's not the sort of paper cut you want.
Ye old sock.